Hey guys, I'm Marcus King. We're doing my rig rundown with Sweetwater Music. We're gonna be showing you some of my pedals. We're here on the Youngblood tour, so let's get into it. So, start talking through some pedals on the board. I guess I'll just go from right to left. This little doodad here, I like to use when we're doing some more like atmospheric sections of the show. Usually like my saxophone player, Christopher Spees, will be playing something. And then when we're kind of getting out into the, outer sphere a little bit, just kind of like to get a little spooky. This is just an MXR reverb pedal, and I just crank it all the way up, all of them. Also, a really great pedal just for just regular reverb. If you got a gig and you show up and the rig has no reverb on the amp and you're a reverb junkie like me, it's a really great pedal to have in your arsenal if you need a little reverb. And this next one here I'm going to show you is the Echoplex from MXR as well. And I've got the real Echoplex at home, which is always preferable, but something like that, it's hard to find the tape to replace it, and it has a habit of breaking or, even goes missing sometimes. So this is a pretty good tool to have, if you want to get a little spanky with it. Not a pedal I use a whole heck of a lot, but love a good Echoplex. Usually what I like the Echoplex for is just to make more noise, and I like to adjust it while we're playing. I really like atmospheric things, so I do miss my Echoplex. And talking about this makes me realize I need to bring the real one back pretty soon. But it's a great pedal to have if you don't have an Echoplex at your dispense. What else we got? This MXR Clean Boost is pretty nifty little gadget. It just Need to not forget the mini volume pedal, because I'm not really a volume pedal guy. I don't really do a lot of things with it, but it's really easy just to kill the signal. But that's the MXR Boost. I'd be completely lost without a tube screamer, so I always have a tube screamer on the board, and they're always great. It's just a regular old TS9, straight off the shelf. You can grab it just about anywhere. Sweetwater, I'd imagine. I travel not with not a lot of vintage gear, just because things are getting moved around a lot. All my old ones are at the house. But yeah, man, straight off the shelf, Ibanez TS9 tube screamer. Can't really go wrong with that. It's a great little boost for you. Now, moving to something a little more fun. This is the Tremolo unit I've been using. On the record Youngblood, I had Tremolo off the amp. I was using an old Gibson amplifier. But this Tremolo is made by True-Fi out of Portland, Maine area. And it's just easier to have it on the board rather than fooling with it on the amp. And this is a really great tremolo pedal and gets all the sounds that I needed to. These knobs are so big and clunky that I'm able to even, you know, get my boot on there and adjust the speed if I need to. There you go. Yeah, so that's the tremolo from True-Fi, great little pedal. Something else from True-Fi that I've been using, this is the two-face, and it has an adjustable switch on it so you can have more of the 69 sound or more of the 70 sound. And right now I've got it set to 69, and this is what that sounds like. And you know, a lot of times I'll take the reverb completely off the amp, and this is about as close as I can get really to the sound that I used for the Youngblood record. Recommend you get you one of them. And I usually keep it around the 69. The 70 is really cool too. I should probably show you that. Let me show you that. This next one's a really good remake of the Phase 100, and really nothing much different about it other than the fact that it has an indicator light on it, which I love, because the old one you could only figure it out one way, is that if the phase was on, you would just start to notice the phase. I also use the phase, like, you know, if I'm playing like some Waylon Jennings or something. Never a bad time for any phase, that's what I always say. Now we get to the kind of Univibe pedal, also from MXR. What I really like about this pedal is that it has the expression, so you can change the level of find that sweet spot and just get the right amount of fuzz, and then you're just hanging out in Robin Trower land, man. Hendrix territory. So that's really gonna give you a lot of sustain. What I find in my playing is just, I put it on, I just forget it's on, man. It just makes everything sound a little bit better to me. Love the Univibe sound. So, the last pedal on the board that I'll show you is the MXR Chorus, and big John Scofield fan, and we call this the Scofield in the box, the band and I, and it's just it's a lot lighter than carrying a Leslie around to add into your rig, which is always preferred, but this gets you close. And that's the MXR Micro Chorus. And lastly, how can you go wrong with a Crybaby wah-wah? Right off the shelf, boys and girls. This is the greatest pedal ever made. And just makes everything sound cool, you know? Like, I also like to use my my Crybaby, and I've tried a lot of different wah pedals. I found that the Crybaby wah is the one that I get the closest to like a envelope filter, but it's like a self-manipulated envelope filter, right? Because a lot of them are just gonna act off of your attack, and I just adjust it with my ankle, you know? So like. So folks, that's the pedal board. Let's go check out the amps. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the Marcus King MK Ultra from Orange Amplifiers. Orange came to me and had a really interesting proposition. They wanted to make a Marcus King signature head, to which I was really blown away and really flattered, and I'm really glad that we started working together, because I'm very thrilled with this amplifier. And I've been touring with it ever since I got the prototype, which is one of these, and one of them is production model number 1. Not sure, I'd have to open up the back plate, but you get the gist. So this amp is basically just an attempt to put out just a really simple circuited amp, right? So I love 6L6 tubes, as you can tell, because I always have a Fender amplifier on the stage. This amp was an attempt to kind of get that simplicity of a Fender build, but with like the oomph, the gusto, the zhuzh, if you will, of a classic British amplifier. And Cliff Cooper, the CEO of Orange Amplifiers, and Pat Foley, my personal rep with Orange, have all been very kind and very caring, and everybody that put time into designing this amplifier, Alex in particular, I mean, everyone just really put a lot of care and a lot of energy into this amp, and it just is perfect. I love it. It's really user-friendly. I really just wanted an amp that you could just turn up to 10 and you know it's gonna scream. And that's what we've got here with the MK Ultra. I mean, let's just go ahead and do my little project here. We'll just turn it to 10, see what it does. Every now and again, like as you can see, I've got 2 up here. A, because it looks cool, and 2, just because it pushes more air. We're playing larger rooms nowadays, and they were kind enough to make me these 8x10 slant cabinets, because I love 8x10 cabinet. Just a beautiful amp. I mean, just aesthetically. I think the first time I saw an Orange amplifier, I was watching Stevie Wonder live at the Beat Club. It's a video on YouTube of it, and they were playing all Orange amplifiers, he and the whole band. I thought that was a really sharp look, you know, so really happy with it, and Orange really knocked it out of the park. So those are the amps, and these are the amps that I bring all over the country with us, and I've got a similar setup across the pond that I'm able to take out. Only difference is I use a trainer cabinet instead of a basement cabinet that I have here. Lastly, I guess we should talk a little bit about the guitar. This is the first prototype from Gibson. This is the only one, to my knowledge, that was built in the Memphis factory when it was still up and running. And Jim Lillard from Gibson Guitars and Mike Volz approached me about the idea, and Dustin Wainscott too. We were talking about doing a replica of my grandfather's '62 ES-345. And I gave Jim Lillard Big Red, as my family's named her, and he kept the guitar for about 2 weeks, and this is what he came back with. And it's just right out of the box. I got it like a couple years ago now, because this was kind of pre, you know, pandemic and all that. So right out of the box, this guitar played beautifully, and we made a few different prototypes, but this is the first one, and I think the only one that was made in Memphis, like I said, so it's a special one for me. And this is the one I take on the road alongside Big Red, the real one. Just one of the more versatile guitars for my money. I mean, I just did this whole rig rundown with it. It's my go-to if I need it to sound like a Telly. I can attempt to make it sound like a Telly. I mean, it's just one of those guitars, man. You can't make it sound small. It's got all the bells and whistles, and it just looks like a Cadillac. So that's what I love about it. This is the Marcus King Gibson ES-345. Thank you, Sweetwater. We sure do appreciate you. I'm Marcus King, and this has been my rig rundown. And big thanks to Orange, MXR, True-Fi, Gibson Guitars, and Fender, and also Cadillac. We appreciate you.